this occasion, I'd like to introduce you to our chairman, Ben Harris-Quinney.
Thanks very much, Hector. Thank you for all coming this evening, and I hope you enjoyed the film. We've got some great speeches lined up tonight, and there are really two strands to what we can say. The first thing is, of course, it's extremely important to everyone in the boat group to remember our servicemen both now and in the past. The Battle of Britain was one of those occasions which happen rarely in history, where fortitude and destiny came together and just a few people had the future of the world in their hands. We're very fortunate that those people weren't found wanted. The people of the United Kingdom engaged in a wonderful partnership in the Battle of Britain with airmen from the United States, from Holland, but most notably in a number from Poland. And this evening we also want to draw attention to the huge contribution that Polish airmen made to that victory. Now, I'm not someone that wants to engage in identity politics. That's never been my modality at all. There is obviously, however, a lot of tension following Brexit. The Bow Group campaigned for Brexit, and we're very proud to do so. But Brexit was never about looking down on any group of people in the United Kingdom. It was never about telling people that are already here, that have been here for years, to go home. That's not what the Bow Group's about. That's not what anyone that was involved in campaigning for Brexit was campaigning for. And I hope the message can go out tonight, loud and clear, that we are very proud of the alliance we've had with Polish people over the years. We're very proud of the service that both our airmen and airmen from Poland made during the Battle of Britain. And we're also very welcoming towards those Polish people who are in the United Kingdom. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Lord Tebbit, an RAF man himself in his club tonight, to give us his thoughts on the 76th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. Lord Tebbit.
I looked back the other evening at my old flying logbooks, military and civil flying, and I found scattered through them names such as Kawczynski, Zylinski, and many more of that kind. But long before then, I had benefited from our Polish incomers. I was taught at school during the war years history, and in particular the history of Europe through the 19th and early 20th century by an inspirational woman teacher who we knew as Miss Rudley. It was many years later that I discovered she was really Miss Zylinski, and that I had been taught the history of Europe by a Pole. It gives one a slightly different angle on these things and underlines that view of Margaret Thatcher that Poland, the Czech Republic, Slovakian Republic were not Eastern Europe, but were the centre of Europe. So I was grateful for that. But tonight we celebrate not those who taught me history, but those who made history. In the summer of 1940, the German blitzkrieg had smashed the Allied armies from Europe. France had surrendered, and the Pétain-Laval government had made peace with the National Socialist German Workers' Party government of Hitler. The battered remains of the British Expeditionary Force had scrambled their way back to Britain. Another and much more formidable armada than that which had rescued the BEF was being assembled. That was the armada that was destined to invade this country, to carry the stormtroopers and the panzers to invade the United Kingdom and complete the conquest of Northwest Europe. I was about 9 years old then, but I realized, even as a child, that the outcome would decide the course of my life. Children grew up very quickly in wartime. I listened to the news and was aware of the strangers in our country. Aussies, Kiwis, South Africans, Poles, and Czechs who were fighting on our side. Only much later did I fully understand how close we had been to defeat, and how the arrival of the battle-hardened Poles swung the battle back towards the free Europe and against the German Nazi regime. The failure of the Luftwaffe to win command of the air led to the cancellation of Operation Sea Lion to invade these islands, and gave time for Churchill to pursue his plan of dragging the Americans into the war. You remember those years when people asked Churchill, what is your policy, Prime Minister, to win the war? And in that wonderful Churchillian way, and I can still hear his voice in my mind, he would say, KBO. They would say, KBO? Yes, he said, keep buggering on. And that was all we could do. But we were saved by the intervention of, not least, the Poles, to win the Battle of Britain. There fought in that battle 2,917 airmen. They were 2,334 British, 33 Aussies, 29 Belgians, 99 Canadians, a good many of whom were Americans who'd hopped across the border to declare themselves to be Canadians, 88 Czechoslovakians, 13 French, 10 Irish. You couldn't keep them out of a good fight. 1 Jamaican, 126 Kiwis, 145 Poles, 3 Rhodesians, 25 South Africans, 11 Americans, many of whom hopped over the border and called themselves Canadians. But the impact of those Polish fighter pilots was even greater than their number suggests. By sheer weight of numbers, the Luftwaffe were winning. We had no lack of aircraft, but we were running out of pilots. Young men, having only just won their wings and converted on the Spitfires and Hurricanes, were being thrown into battle against the Luftwaffe's experienced pilots. Some were shot down within days of entering the battle. just in time came the battle-hardened Poles, who had escaped the Germans and were here, ready, eager, skilled to fight for their country and ours. They turned the battle. The Luftwaffe backed off. The invasion of Britain was cancelled. All that remained was to drag America into that conflict. When my dear good friend, the late Maurice Ginobili, asked me and a few others, friends, to join him in finding the site, the money, the architect, the sculptor, and others, to build a memorial to those who fought in the battle here in the centre of London, I agreed. 11 years ago, that monument was unveiled by His Royal Highness the Princess of Wales. On it are the names of everyone who fought in that battle. And those of you who follow these things, if you go down to Victoria Embankment, you can see every day passers-by from all over the world stopping at that most extraordinarily fine monument and looking and taking their fingers down the lists of those names, all listed there by their countries and their squadrons. My friends, there are not many people much more English than me, but I am proud to be English in an England which has welcomed so many into our midst who live by our standards and want to make this again a great country. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship. The purpose of the evening is not just to pass on this living memory, but to memorialise it. And to this regard, I'm delighted to introduce the real patriot, His Highness Prince Yannick Zylinski.
Good evening. Thank you very much. I'm very lucky to be able to address you tonight in the RAF Club. I'm Polish, through and through and through, but also a Londoner through and through and through. I'm born in London, I've lived here all my life. I don't live anywhere else. But as the Duke of Wellington said, and he was born in Ireland, just because you're born in a stable doesn't mean you're a horse. I was born in England, but it doesn't mean I'm English. But I love England, and just like the whole Polish community, we are totally committed. And I always say, I don't believe in any of this multicultural nonsense. I just believe that we are Britain's best ally, and we proved it. And the time when we proved it, nowadays we prove it with our work ethic. But our real entry card into this country was this. So, can you stand aside? The Battle of Britain. That's when we got the right to be here at the same time. We can't demand it, but you know, we proved our commitment.
You bought your ticket with blood.
Thank you. So, this monument, very big, I hesitate to tell you, you're going to be horrified, it's 100 foot tall. It's as tall as the Wellington Arch. I mean, the Polish pilots were crazy, and I think it runs in our blood, because I want something that seems crazy too. And I want it in Hyde Park Corner, at Hyde Park Corner. And I feel that really, as Lord Tebbit just said, we paid with our blood. I really feel in my heart of hearts that the British government should pay for this, because it's time that this country really, officially, big time, said thank you. most people don't know about the key role of the Polish pilots in the Battle of Britain. They're not even aware that other nations fought. And that needs to change. But I think everybody should be able to contribute. But top of my list, of course, is the British government. It's going to cost $1 million or $2 million. That's not much to a government. No, they lose billions every year, so another $1 million or $2 million doesn't matter. But everybody's going to have an opportunity, and I feel that, and I've been saying this time and time again over the last year. A year ago, I challenged Nigel Farage to a duel with my father's sword. My father led a cavalry charge against the Germans in 1939, which he won. And we celebrate it every year, next weekend in Poland, in exactly the place where he led his cavalry charge. We're reenacting it. And of course, the Poles always win every year. I wonder why. So, during the Battle of Britain, as Lord Tebbit pointed out, Britain was losing the battle until the Poles came along, because they were battle hardened. They'd already dealt with the German Air Force a year earlier, when the Germans invaded Poland. They'd seen their families murdered, their houses, their villages, their towns destroyed. And therefore, in a sense, they had nothing to lose. That gave them something that I believe Nike calls no fear. They had no fear. That's why the kill rate of Polish pilots, of German aeroplanes, was 4 times that of the British pilots. For every single English pilot who's shot down a plane, the Poles would shoot down 4. Now, to us this is normal. Because we know we're good. We know we're the best. We know we're Britain's best ally. But the British public at large, especially after Brexit, which I'll talk about in a moment, really need to understand this. Britain's greatness, and I'm a trained historian at the London School of Economics, has been about working with other nations. This thing of going it alone and splendid isolation is a complete soap bubble. The British Empire, I'm sure, consisted of 120 different nations working together. Yeah? Britain has a genius for coordinating other nations towards a common aim, and it succeeded, I think, brilliantly during the Second World War. So I want to promote this idea, not some little Britain. I support Brexit. I think it's a fabulous idea. I think the European Union is like communism was in its dying years. It's just dying, it's dead, it makes everybody stupid. So I'm glad we're getting out of it. At the same time, I'm very keen for Britain to resume its traditional role of coordinating all these various different nations. And the largest minority in this country at the moment are the Polish people. So one of the purposes, apart from saying thank you to the Polish pilots, those 150 odd who actually made that huge contribution, is to change the awareness in this country that it's not just the English who did it, but it's the Poles what won it, and the Czechs. Actually, the highest scoring individual pilot in the Battle of Britain was a Czech from the Czech Republic. Who knows that? 3 people in this country. Well, 4.5. We're after tonight 100. But this needs to go out because I believe that this is Britain's future. Britain should not be in the EU, but you can't transplant the UK to 20 miles away from New York. It's just not physically possible. Britain will always be where it is. So I propose this thing, which is, some people say it's absolutely insane, and that's why they love it. It's very gold. I love gold. Why? Because it's so unfashionable. And so everybody thinks it's silver and grey. If you go to see Swan Lake at the Royal Opera House, all the swans are grey. I mean, it's all grey, 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 not even white anymore. Grey or black. And suddenly, this lunatic pole, because we're all lunatics, but in the best sense of the word, we have imagination. comes along and says, "It's a gold statue, 100 foot high. Where can you see a real Spitfire in London? In central London? Nowhere." Well, thanks to us, you're going to see. And it's going to be big. And tomorrow, please get a copy of the Evening Standard, because this evening will have been written about, and in other media as well. Tonight is just a kick-off meeting, and you can tell your grandchildren that you were here tonight, and that you, in a sense, were the parents and the grandparents of this incredible, wonderful, brilliant monstrosity, which is going to change London and blow people away. That's what I wanted to say to you. Thank you very much for listening. Over the next few weeks and months, we're going to get the campaign going, and I'm totally committed to its success. Thank you very much.
And in that spirit of cooperation, we're delighted we have a very special guest this evening, Minister for International Dialogue, Senator Anna Maria Anders.
My background is even more complicated than Yannick's. I was also born in London. I am the daughter of General Władysław Anders, one of the most prominent Polish commanders during the Second World War, the hero of the Monte Cassino, and the general who took over 120,000 people out of Siberia during the war, so saved over 120,000 lives. I never saw myself as a Polish politician. As I said, I grew up in London, I was educated in London, I worked in different countries around Europe, but here I am as a senator and a minister in the Polish government. I have known Janek over the years a bit, but I really got to know him a couple of years ago when he built his monument in the statue in Kawczynski, gold. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You have this Kalorina, and it was a huge hit. I mean, it really stirred the imagination of everybody, you know? And I drive through Kawczynski once in a while, and I always think of you.
On the way to your constituents.
On my way to my constituents. But I think this is a tremendous idea. It really isn't about what it looks like, you know. There's always going to be people who are going to say, I like it, I don't like it. That's not what it's all about. What it's all about is the cooperation between Poland and England. This has nothing to do with Brexit. I am always, you know, I will have one foot in England still, and I have a foot in Poland, and also in the United States, because I was married to an American, so I also have an American passport. This is about cooperation and appreciation for what Poland did during the war. Frankly, I think Poland was underappreciated. I know my father's words. He wrote a book which is called An Army in Exile, and he felt that there wasn't enough gratitude shown for what Poland did. So I think this is a great gesture. It's not just the pilots. It is about the pilots because it's the Battle of Britain. But I think it's also perhaps a gesture to all the Polish people who fought with the Allied forces during the Second World War and contributed to a free world and above all a free Poland, which is what it's all about. So Janek has absolutely my 100% support, and I'm sure that I will get support from the Polish government for this because I think they will see it the way I do. And I think there is a lot of concern in Poland about what has been happening in the UK, attacks and so on. You know, frankly, I think, you know, there are attacks on different nations, different countries. Perhaps they are taking it a little bit personally. That really is not the point. I think a gesture like this would serve to calm everybody down. It means, okay, you know, the UK still loves Poland, and Poland still loves the UK. So Janek, you have my 100% support. And good luck with it. And if you need me as a spokesman, I'll be happy to do it.
Finally, ladies and gentlemen, British and Pole are not not just separate, but they're united in our very own Member of Parliament, Mr. Daniel Kawczynski.
Thank you. Well, I, like you, really enjoyed the film that we just watched, and I had to laugh to myself when they were having a go at the Polish pilots for speaking in Polish, and he said silence in Polish, and it is a very difficult language. I'm currently learning Polish. I brought my lesson today because my tutor came to teach me, and I want to go through my homework with the Deputy Ambassador, who's here. It is an extraordinarily difficult language, anybody who has attempted to speak it. But I think the film shows what we can do together, setting aside linguistic and cultural differences when we need to, as Britons and Poles. And when I applied for my seat in Shrewsbury, I came there with a completely unpronounceable surname, Kawczynski, never mind not being born in Shropshire, but I hadn't even been born in Britain. And I remember going to the final of the selection process, as Lord Tebbit would have done in Chingford, and in front of 500 people, somebody who was against me stood up and said, "Well, Kawasaki, that's not a very Shropshire name, is it?" And I stood up, and I straight away said, "Well, you know, sir, it didn't cause my grandfather's generation any problems when they were fighting in the Battle of Britain, and so I hope it doesn't cause me any problems today." And that got a round of applause, which many people said actually clinched me the nomination for the seat. I have to say that it's a great honour and privilege to be standing next to Lord Tebbit. He is a fellow Conservative parliamentarian and somebody who we in the Conservative Parliamentary Party in the Commons admire and respect greatly. Not only the things that he did in Margaret Thatcher's government, but subsequently from the House of Lords, keeping us in check to this day, and highlighting when we do make mistakes. He's one of those senior elder statesmen who carries weight within the wider electorate and the media. So it's a great honour and pleasure to be with him here this evening. And you know, Lord Tebbit himself has said on many occasions very publicly, we could not have done it without the Poles. And I'm very proud of the words that he has said in recognising the Polish contribution. As the first ever Polish-born British Member of Parliament, I'm passionate about engaging with Poland in post-Brexit. I think we all voted for Brexit here, or certainly the speakers did. And we are...
I didn't vote, I didn't have a chance.
But I
would have done.
But you would have done, there you are. Well, I campaigned very strongly for Brexit in my constituency, and we won. But that doesn't mean to say we will never continue to cooperate with Poland and engage in a tailor-made relationship in a bilateral basis with our Polish friends and allies, through trade, through partnership, but also most importantly in NATO and in our common defence capability. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I held a debate. We have had expressions of the concerns about the Polish diaspora on certain number of attacks on them post-Brexit. With this in mind, we held a debate in the House of Commons last month on the contribution of Poles to the United Kingdom. So we were accentuating not just their unique contribution during the Battle of Britain, but the extraordinary contribution that the 900,000 strong Polish community in this country continue to contribute to our country today.
Did you know there are more Poles in Ulster than Irish passport holders in the Republic?
Well, I didn't, but I'll add that for you to speak. And I will send your chairman a link to that debate in the House of Commons on the contribution of Poles to the United Kingdom. I'm very pleased to see a number of young people here, and I think it's extremely important to share the message tonight with the younger generation so that they remember and never forget the extraordinary contribution. And I also asked Mrs. May, our new Prime Minister, to visit the Polish War Memorial at the earliest opportunity. Although she's been in post for a short time, I think it's extremely important that she visits the Polish War Memorial with senior members of the Polish diaspora to show just how grateful we all are for the Polish contribution and how we are all looking forward to working with the Poles in the future. Thank you very much.
on those that have served in the past. And we're very glad to have them here. But as any member of the service knows, you never know when you're going to be called upon, and you always have to be ready. And that's what we have to do as citizens of the United Kingdom as well. And so I'm very pleased that there is one final small announcement to make. We fought the Brexit battle, and there was a lady, I think, that we all had in our minds when doing so. I'm sure Lord Tebbit and I had in our minds when doing so. Her favourite cities were Warsaw and Budapest, because she felt that the role that she played in the Cold War in making what was once Eastern Europe, Central Europe, again, was such a greatly important thing. That lady was, of course, Margaret Thatcher, someone we miss greatly in the Bow Group. And so I'm just going to hand over very briefly to Zylinski to say a few words about Margaret Thatcher and what we might expect to see in the future.
Great, thank you very much, Ben. What I wanted to say is, growing up in this country in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, I remember how lost Britain was under the governments of Harold Wilson and Callaghan and all of that. And for the Polish community here, who of course were allergic to anything remotely left-wing, when Margaret Thatcher came along, it was as if Jesus Christ had come back on earth. We worshipped her. And people left in their wills all their money to her and to the Conservative Party. I mean, the love for her in the Polish community was ridiculous. And of course, she made a very real commitment to support solidarity, the solidarity movement, and she made a very real commitment in keeping Mikhail Gorbachev playing the game the way that we wanted him to play. So I have promised, just like I want to build this monument for British pilots, for Polish pilots here in London, in Hyde Park Corner, to create an opportunity for everybody on these islands, Polish and English, to express their gratitude to these people who won the battle, basically. So my next project after this is to build, and this is a solemn promise, which you can, there's enough witnesses here tonight, to build a statue of Margaret Thatcher in one of her two favourite cities, to build it in Warsaw, in Poland. I promise.
Well, firstly, thank you so much to all of our speakers. It's an absolute honour to hear from you this evening. And thank you to Bow Group as well for organising this.
Yeah, bravo, Bow Group.
I just want to quickly draw your attention to the leaflets that you will have found on your chairs this evening. This week, at the Bow Group, we launched our youth wing. It's called Generation Conservative. And our aims are ultimately to combat the extreme left-wing politics we see on university campuses. We want to provide an alternative platform. We want to promote conservative values, and as you can imagine, this is a very difficult task in the younger generation, but it's not possible. And if anybody is interested in getting involved this evening, it would be fantastic to hear from you. My email address is here, but we have a Twitter account, a Facebook account, and a fantastic site, so please don't hesitate to get in contact if you can.
Thank you very much.